Good morning, everyone. It's Joker, and today we are back with another slime video, and we have finally received the alternate universe Demon Lord RIMURU. Single target RIMURU. He looks fantastic. His ult is the same one that we've been fighting against for the ranking event. It's a very good looking ult. But, big heavy but. His kit is not what we expected, alright? I had very high hopes for this RIMURU. I wanted him to have his first skill, which we knew about from the skill preview this morning, which was the increase ult gauge by 20%, which stacks up to 100. 10% increases for every time you use your protection skill, so Velzard, which is a good skill. And then 20% defense down for 2 turns, so you can use it for, to set up for the nuke. His second skill, though. His second skill is, not. It's not. Also, we're still waiting on his gear, so that's why I haven't made him a sword. Because we're getting a sword for him in a few days. I don't know. They haven't posted an update on the whole global point scale yet, so I don't know if we've hit the 7 billion or if we're just shy of it, so I expect to get his gear the next couple days or so. So I'm not going to make gear for him. But he is Earth. He is an Earth unit, so that means we have 2 space units and 2 Earth units in this meta. So everyone who is thinking that he can't be Earth because we already have an Earth character, sorry, you're wrong. He is physical, he's on Warrior's Mind, Commander, and Antagonist. Now, these 2 forces don't have a leader yet, so he's only on Warrior's Mind, essentially. He uses a normal sword. He is a single target, 490%, and then his EX ult does 1.5, so 700 and something. His first skill increases Earth and Space allies, ult gauge allies by 20%. And every time you use your protector, it stacks up 10% to a cap of 100%. So, if you use your protector in 8 times, you can get a full ult gauge. Just right there. As soon as you use it, you get a full ult gauge, if you can use it 8 times. Which, realistically, you're going to get it like 6 or 7, so you're going to get close. You're going to get close to the maximum output, but not quite the full amount, unless you get really good RNG. And then he lowers defense by up to 20% if this skill is maxed out, but I haven't maxed it out because I don't really care. His second skill, I know every single person wanted him to be a DPS unit. We wanted him to have an attack buff. We wanted to have some kind of new feature where he did extra damage or something, or he lowered Earth resistance that helped him and Guy hit harder because they're both single targets and they're both Earth against the space enemy. Well, I'll tell you what, the devs heard our internal voices and they were like, fuck you. So, they gave him the orb swap that the Hero 2.0 has. But it's worse. It's actually worse. So, changes one alt into a blue orb and increases blue gauges by up to 10%. So, the hero right here changes one alt orb into a green orb and increases green gauges by 10%, right? It's the same skill, it's just changing from blue to green. However, this skill costs 0 points to start out with. 0. Nothing. RIMURU, his skill costs 15. Why? Fuck, I don't know. Is it because that the hero is meant to be used on a burst team with supposed to use like low-cost skills? Yeah, probably. Is this RIMURU on a stacking team that has points to burn? Yeah, it does. But it's the same fucking skill. So why does it have the same fucking cost? My mind is blown. One, because this is not an attack skill. This is not a DPS character. Well, I mean, he is, but he isn't. He has the exact same stats as Guy. So if you have Guy with dupes, he will hit harder than this RIMURU. Just based purely on the fact that you have extra stats on his dupes. He has nothing overly special about his damage output. He will help lower defense by 20%, like whoop-de-fucking-do. I'll just bring, you know, the hero, and I'll get the orb change. Yes, it's to a green orb, but we can work with that. And we also get the all types resistance down by 50% and extra orb damage, which helps literally everybody. Literally everybody can benefit from that skill. Literally only Earth and space units can benefit from this skill. And I don't know if you know, but Earth units are not really up there in terms of viability. We have Guy, we have Rimuru, and then we have Earth 2.0, which is a whole bunch of defensive characters which are meant to heal themselves and counterattack, and that is not useful in this type of, you know, most game modes. And then the last time we got Earth units before that was the 1.0 Earth meta back in March of 2022, and that was Valentine, Soe, and Benimaru. Yeah, because you're using them as frontline nukers right now, right? Totally. So that leaves you with increasing space allies, which, granted, there are much, much more space units to choose from. Space Milim, the Hero, Carrion, Ranga, the Space Rimuru, the new Valentine, the new Violet. There are good space units out there. And because he's got this whole thing right here where he, you know, changes to a blue orb, you can put them on a stacking team with Space Veldora. Yes, I will do that for you during his showcase. Do I think he's going to be useful? Not really. Because, like, the old space units, they don't need all this ult gauge, right? They don't have EX ults. So it's like, okay, yeah, cool, you gave him a double ult, so we can nuke one turn, we can nuke the next turn, but we're going to use all our points the previous turn, so we're not going to have any points the next turn, so it's like, well, okay. I don't know. I don't know. This Rimuru is actually a fairly big disappointment. Yes, he is a single target Rimuru. We finally got a single target Rimuru. He is attack growth. He will do good damage. He will do good damage. He could have done much better damage. And that is the issue. Instead of giving him an attack buff, some kind of extra damage potential, they gave him the orb swapping skill from the hero and made it worse. So, if you were to ask me, Joker, I'm having difficulty deciding on who to summon for, because we have many, many banners up right now. Okay, well, do you have Guy Valentine Velzard? If your answer is yes, and you still would like to summon, you will get more value out of pulling for Violet. It's because she is a supportive unit. She will support other teams besides this team, which brings good value to her. If you have Guy and Velzard, you're like, do I pull for Valentine or do I pull for Violet or Rimuru? You really don't need Valentine. If you have Guy and Velzard, you can summon for Violet. If you have literally everybody from this new team, you have all three of these units, you have Violet, and you're like, Joker, should I summon for Rimuru? I'm going to tell you no. I will straight up tell you no. Save your crystals. Because he's going to make getting EX alts for this specific team fairly easy. And that's very, very good for this team. When this team is no longer viable, and we move on to the next meta, and it's magic focused, and has 150% physical resistance, you're not going to use this team. And it's probably not going to be a blue focused team either. And probably not Earth and Space units, because we just got 2 Earth and 2 Space units. So after this month is over, Rimuru is going to fall off a cliff. So, I mean, yeah, he looks really good. And if that's your whole reason for summoning for him, you've probably already summoned for him and you don't need this video. In which case, thank you for still watching the video. But if you're on the fence and you have everybody else, just stick with everybody else. If you have literally nobody from this meta, you should summon on this triple banner because it has 3 new units and it is good value. Right? Because these are 3 units, new units. This is 1 who's good, and this is 1 who's mid. So where do you think your crystals should go? And then for these 2 units, their meta is already over. I can't really recommend summoning for them. I mean, they're hot. I don't know. I don't think you should summon for them. So that's the unfortunate truth, though, is that Guy is orb changing, good for teams. He is alt buffing, good for teams, and he's giving crit rate to physical allies, of which the last 3 fucking metas have been physical. So yeah, great, fantastic Earth unit. Velzard, good stacker, limited because she only stacks 2 categories worth of units, but can be effective. Valentine is pretty wonky. She's also going to probably fall off a cliff after this meta is over, but she looks hot. Violet, good unit, good solid support for many teams, and with the Orb Steal, makes her viable. And then this RIMURU, who has a skill that should cost 0, but it costs 15, and in his second skill, giving alt gauge to units that don't need it, unless you're on this team. So, my recommendation is skip this RIMURU, and it hurts to say that. Trust me, I wanted this RIMURU to be godly, and they made him mid. They had the gall to make him mid. And I know, Luke, I know you're watching this video, and I know you're always really negative about how the devs fucked up, and I generally don't really agree with you. I will agree with you on this point, though. I will agree with you on this point. They done fucked up RIMURU. They shouldn't have did that. So, there we go. He could have been so much more, and he's not. So, save your crystals. He looks cool. Get him from a selector ticket at the 1-year anniversary or something, because you're never going to use him again. And that's just the unfortunate truth. But, let me know your thoughts on him. I would generally like to know. Actually, I don't even think I went over his entire kit. I'm just too busy bitching. Hold on. Single target. Increase. Orb swap. His Valor trait nerfs alt damage in Valor Cup, which 10% is not going to save you. Neither is 20%. You're going to die. His actual trait is good. Increases protection gauge every 2 turns, just like Water Shion. It's a good trait. His EX board is, if Shion is here, he gets an extra 8% crit damage, and he is a self-buffer on the EX board. So, there we go. There's the rest of his kit. Still don't summon. Still save your crystals. Let me know if you did summon, how your summons went. Hopefully you all got... I know people got better luck than me, because I had to go to fucking Pity for him, which also is why I'm kind of salty. That he's such a mid unit, and I had to go to Pity. That happens a lot, actually. But yeah, that's it for me. Take it easy, and I'll see you all later.